Okay, this is a hurricane update for August 31st, 2015. We're looking at the rainbow color infrared loop, the Northeast Pacific map, and we have three hurricanes right here. We have Hurricane Jimena, still has an eye wall. We have Hurricane Ignacio and Hurricane Kilo. Now, Ignacio has been moved out of the way by a high pressure. It's been pinned down by a HAARP transmitter. And let's take a look at this in the water vapor mode. We can see that high pressure is in place here, and that is serving to push this hurricane away from the islands. It was moving right towards the islands, and this high pressure suddenly built in and started pushing the storm to the north-northwest. Now Kilo has been pinned in, blocked by a high pressure right here. That was an artificial HAARP generated high pressure. But in the meantime, a whole new flow from the Bering Sea has begun forcing water vapor at a very high rate down through here. This is a very strong current, and that is serving to block this hurricane right here. All right. Now, so this is going to stay pinned here for a little while. We thought it might ride up and around with this flow back towards the west coast around this high pressure that's still pinned in place, this large high pressure right here. All right, now Hurricane Jimena is being hit by a transmitter, and we can see these blast patterns all through this whole hurricane here. This is a very good blast pattern. This is a great example of how the hurricane looks when it's being hit by a transmitter. We have a ring, very large circular ring, a blast ring generated by a microwave transmitter right here. We still have an eye wall in this storm, but they're hitting it right outside the eye, and that's what's causing that. Okay, let's go on here. All right, here is the water vapor loop for Hawaii, and we can see a really nice blast pattern right here where they're hitting this storm with the transmitter right in the center right here, and there's no eye wall. We see a lot of diminishment of the thunderstorms right in here. All of this activity is we can tell the intensity of the storm right down here on the colored chart. And look at the blast pattern here. This is basically the core of the hurricane right here. This is the leading edge of the storm, is the core. We have a very strong northeast upper level flow that's being generated by this high pressure right here. They're forcing air down on top of this hurricane right here. Very, very powerful high pressures is forcing air down on top of this area, and that is forcing air. That's going to serve to block this storm as well. And we can see that happening here. Just like this high pressure right here has caused a big dent in the, over here on looking here at Kilo, this high pressure that's been pinned over here is put a big dent in the side of this hurricane, if you can imagine that. That's probably never been seen before, but there it is. A powerful storm like this being affected by a high pressure in that manner. You've got high pressure right next to low pressure, and that's the situation right here. You got very strong high pressure right next to what was a very powerful category 4 storm right there. And this storm today was right on the brink of being a category 5. It was right around, I think it was 155 miles per hour winds, earlier today. All right, let's go keep moving here. Here is the infrared loop for that storm. This is Ignacio, and we have the visible light mode. We can see some high velocity shock waves moving out. Some violent activity right here where this storm is being attacked. We're seeing some rings. There's a strange looking blast ring right here, right there. Okay. All right, let's go take a look at the hurricane center chart real quick. And Ignacio is now 100 mile per hour winds. All right, they've beat it down to 100 mile per hour winds. It's moving northwest at 12 miles per hour. And Kilo is still at 125 mile per hour winds, and that's moving north-northwest at 8 miles per hour. Okay, so let's go back and look at the Jimena right here. 130 mile per hour winds, core pressure of 948 millibars, and moving west-northwest at 13 knots, 15 miles per hour. All right, so we'll keep an eye on that. Let's look at the cone track for this thing here. All right, this is forecasted to head in a north-northwest direction. All right. Okay, so let's go back to, this is a close-up of the activity near Hawaii. We've got these 3 storms. And this high pressure they've got built in will affect this storm here. This storm will run into that, and then it will probably ride right up and maybe possibly right into this. These storms are getting awfully close together. This one's not moving because we've got high pressure right here, okay, and we've got high pressure right here. So these 2 storms are going to run right into each other. This one's not really moving anywhere because of this high pressure. All right, and the same with this storm is being stopped by the vector force of this moisture field right here and this man-made high pressure right here. So this storm, look at the big dent in that core of that storm. That's fairly amazing to watch. All right, and watch what happens here and here. This storm is moving a lot faster than this storm. Actually, in this loop, we can see this one here advancing on this one, and we have a new one that's going to be developing. So this is getting more entertaining by the day. See how these people are going to manage all this. All right. Meantime, once again, we have this flow heading right towards Southern California and Baja and Arizona. And look at all the thunderstorm activity. This is the monsoonal flow right here. That's being fed, or was being fed, largely from this disturbance and this hurricane. All that moisture is coming back up around and up through Mexico, and this storm here is being blown apart. We'll get a look at that right now. Let's go take a look. Let's see here. The storm still has a nice eye wall. That won't last long. Give it another day, and that'll be looking like this one. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, here's the East Pacific water vapor loop. We've got a storm right here. It's just south of Arizona and New Mexico. And this storm is just in the beginning stages of being blown apart. All right, we can see the blast pattern here, and then the diminishment of the core, which is a purple, and then it implodes and turns into amber and blue. All right, so we'll keep an eye on that. This is all, this would have brought rain to the southwest, obviously, and same with this flow right here that's moving into Baja and also very southern California. We'll see chemtrails tomorrow, folks, and I'll take a video of that to make it part of the record. We'll put that online too. All right, so this storm obviously is being hit. Look at all of the look at the blast pattern all the way around this storm. That is being hit with a HAARP transmitter. Okay, and the storm is weakened, and so we'll keep an eye on this, and we'll watch this moisture field move right into California, and we'll have a video of the chemtrails to document that. Okay, let's keep going here. That's a very powerful thunderstorm system right there. They're killing that off. All right, let's keep going. This is the visible mode, visible light. Okay, and here's a close-up of the southwest. Here's California, Arizona, New Mexico, and they're blasting that. There's no question about it. See the pattern all the way around that. Let's look at this in the and look at here. More technical difficulties. Right when you want to take a look at the evidence, they managed to cover it up. But we still do see a real this thing is being pancaked. It's being flattened out, and that's evident here on the east side. Let's just watch that for a second. Okay, so that's being squashed out, obviously. Okay. You see a sort of a blast pattern down here. All right, well, we'll keep an eye on this. This is in the early development stages. Okay, that's the visible light mode. We do actually see a shock wave in this view. Right in about the second or third to the last frame, there's a shock wave that moves out a lot faster than everything else. Okay, right there. Okay. Okay, so that's pretty much it. This is just another view of Hurricane Ignacio as it's being blown apart. We forecasted this to happen. Yesterday I was saying I'll guarantee you they'll blow this thing apart before it hits the islands, and they didn't. They re-steered it, okay, but now they're blowing it apart. So I guess I was half right. Anyhow, that's pretty much it. We'll go ahead and do an update tomorrow. Okay.